Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about why the Orville episode Twice in a Lifetime bothers me so much. I wanted to elaborate on it more. I did explain why, I disliked it when I did my review, but I kind of wanted to elaborate a little bit more only because I had to kind of like rush that review and I want to make sure I got like everything out. And so, yeah. So, like, a day has passed. What time is it now? It's Saturday morning, but yeah, anyway, pretend like it's Friday night. So, a whole day has passed. And I've been just curious to see what people have been thinking about this episode. And just like I said before, everybody keeps talking about how this is an amazing episode. It's great. It's a tearjerker. It made them cry. It's the best episode or the Orville they ever seen. They say that about every episode this season. So I don't know if people really like it or not. 'Cause everybody keeps saying the same thing every week. Everybody keeps talking about how it's the most amazing thing they ever saw. And I'm just like, you say that every week. And so that's what sometimes I wonder if people are genuine when they say that, or are they just saying that because they want this to have good reviews so it can hopefully get like a fourth season in there. I think technically this is the last, but I'm not here to talk about the time travel stuff. I'm not here to talk about the Charlie Isaac stuff, which I wish that could have been a whole episode on its own, because that was pretty cool. But I'm here to talk about the whole Gordan and Laura thing, because that just bugs the crap out of me. Because it's like, I don't understand why people aren't seeing this for what it really is. He basically online stalked her. Like, when you stop and you think about it. So, like, in case you didn't know, since season 2, they found this old like cell phone. They replicated it, got like all the I guess pictures and voicemails and like stuff like that, and or journals or whatever. And so they got all the logs and stuff like that. And he basically fell in love with a woman who's been dead for like 400 years. And it's kind of like, oh, that's so sad. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that, because it reminds me so much of that TNG episode and stuff. And it's kind of like, he's emotional and he doesn't date much. So, that really got to him. Like, the woman who he thinks is so perfect is dead and he's obsessed with her. Okay, fine. So, in this episode, Charlie causes him to think about her. He's thinking about her as he accidentally travels back in time. Instead of following the rules of staying hidden and staying out of history's way, 3 years passed by and he couldn't take it no more. He started to go mad from having to kill animals and eat it, because in the future that's considered a crime, the hunt and everything. And so after 3 years he got very lonely and he wanted a companion. He could have went for any woman, but he went with the woman he's obsessed with because he knows she's alive in this century and stuff. So he goes and he talks to her, and then years later they make a kid who's about like 5, 10, something like that. And then she has a baby on the way. So he has his happy ending. He has the woman who he's obsessed with. He's not technically in love with her. He's infatuated with her. Like, you get what I'm saying? He's not in love. He's infatuated. And people who are infatuated, those are one of the worst kinds and everything, because that's not true love. And so, he basically manipulated this woman into falling in love with him, because when she's telling the story to Ed and Kelly, she literally starts off by saying, he's not her type. And she just got out of a relationship. So not only did he manipulate her by knowing stuff about her, but he got her at a vulnerable time when she's already having her heart broken from this dude she was in love with. And, so he did the typical guy thing, you know what I'm saying? It works for some and it works for some others that don't. But in a way, when he was like in season 2, he found out everything he could about this woman. her favorite food, what she likes to eat, what she likes to watch on TV, her music, what she likes to do for fun. Everything you can think about, favorite flowers. So he used all that information on her. And then when he met her, he wooed her. And she started to fall in love. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody likes the same kind of music I do, or the same kind of food I do, or this and that. Like, you get what I'm saying? And so he basically tricked her into falling in love with him. That's messed up. He basically online stalked her and stuff. And, and so, like, in this episode, Ed and Kelly tell him, you broke some of your rules. We're going back home and blah, blah, blah. And he's all like, he's not going. He's happy. And why can't he be happy? He even pulls a phaser gun on his commanding officers and threatens to shoot them and everything if they don't leave him and his wife alone and family. And so when they leave, they're of course going to go back in time and get him at a different time, so none of this will ever happen. You know what I'm saying? Because when he traveled back in time, they're 10 years late. So they're going to go back 10 years and get him when he first showed up there, so he won't fall all obsessed in love with her and stuff. And so he's upset about this. But then when he's talking, at some point in time in the episode, he's talking to his wife because she overheard a conversation he was having with Ed and Kelly. And so he has to explain everything to her. Explains that he's from the future. Explains that about the cell phone, how he fell in love with a 400-year-old dead woman, and stuff like that. And this is what's so surprising. She's all like, I always knew there was something different about you and something's like just different, but she didn't know what it was. And so she knew all along something was up because he liked too much of the stuff she did. And she's okay with that. I'm like, how can she be okay with that? But she's literally okay with that. I'm just like, I wish they would have wrote it more dramatic, like her being upset and pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I would have appreciated a whole lot more than her just being nonchalant about it. So then when they tell them, they're going to go back in time and change all this, she will still exist in this timeline, but her kids will not, and she won't be married to Gordan. So she's upset, he's upset, and of course, it happens. They go back in time and they change everything. Now, when they go back 10 years earlier and get him, and they have to explain to him what happened, you know what I'm saying? And he's just like, okay, whatever. Like, he's okay with it. He's nonchalant about it. I'm just thinking to myself, well, isn't he supposed to be obsessed with her? Why isn't he pissed that they did that to him? You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like, I don't get any of that. Like, I don't get how fans think this is the most romantic thing they ever seen to where it made them cry and everything. And I'm just like, no, he online stalked her. He basically lied to her. Their whole marriage was a fabrication of him knowing stuff about her. It's basically like having the answers to a test and then taking the test because you know everything that's going to be on it. And that's basically what it is. And they're both okay with that. Now, I would have liked this a whole lot better. Like I said before, if she would have got pissed off at him and everything, and broke things off with him to where he feel like, okay, I have to go back now. Or I would not appreciate it, but I would have liked them more if he probably would have shot one of the officers and then realized, like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, I'm doing all this for a woman I had no business even being with. I would have liked that too. I also would have liked if the whole time travel thing never happened and instead it all happened on the holodeck and he isn't able to do his work. He's too obsessed with her. Or the time travel stuff did happen. Okay. And then they go back earlier. And then he's all like, man, I wish I could have had that life. And then went to the holodeck then. And then wasn't able to do his job. I would appreciate those a whole lot better than what just happened. Because I can't feel sentimental about this. When he lost his family, I didn't care. I was happy because he had no business having them in the beginning, the first place and everything. Because he broke the rules of temporal, prime directive and stuff. And not only that, but he basically online stalked her. It's no different than like this one Facebook song I heard. Not this one. I can't find the one that I like. But this is kind of the same thing where it's like somebody's that's online, they meet a random online person, they add them, and then they read every single last thing about them. And then they lie, pretending that they like the certain hobbies and interests this person has, but truly they don't. And another reason why I can't get behind this whole Gordon and Laura thing is because it reminds me of an episode of Sliders called Obsession. This episode took place in season two. It's a very good episode. It's on Roku TV app. Um, like it's just a really good episode. So I've already explained this. Sliders is a show that deals with a group of people and they travel the multiverse trying to get home, but they can't because there's millions and millions and millions of Earths. Well, they've been sliding for a couple of months to a year, and Wade is the female in this show. And somehow, this guy named Derek Bond from another world, he's psychic. And somehow he became linked to her dreams when she started sliding. So he's always able to see into her dreams. But not only that, he can also read her mind. So he's reading everything about her before she can even tell him, right? Even things that happened in her past. Well, when he meets her, he flatters her and woos her and everything because she likes the idea of things like psychics and this and that. He gives her her favorite flowers. He shows up on a motorcycle. She loves that stuff, you know. And so he wants to go like on dates with her, and he's just romanticizing the crap about her because he knows everything about her. And then so like he wants her to literally stay with him on that world. And she's just kind of like, you're rushing this. But then she tells her friends, because one of her friends, Quinn, is jealous. She's all like, he's everything she could have ever wanted and everything. He's like the perfect man. He's perfect because he knows everything about her. But she does not know that yet. She finds out when he wants her to spend the night with him. See, he replicated her bedroom from when she was a kid. The bed, the blankets, the painting on not painting, but the paint on the wall, the toys, the stuffed animals, like you name it. It's her identical childhood bedroom, right? And at first she's all like, wow, it's everything that happened when I was a kid. And then she's kind of like, wait, hold up. How did you know what my bedroom looked like when I was a kid? And so she's all like, wait, hold up. You read my mind? She gets furious and pissed off because she tells him that is a violation. Like he literally, even when she was on that world, he literally has been going in her mind and she has no idea. And she said those are her intimate thoughts that are hers and hers alone. And she said what he did was no different than like assault and everything. And so he's trying to like beg her to stay, but she just wants to leave. But he will not let her leave. He literally holds her by the arms and talking about like, I'm sorry, but like I love you and you're staying here and stuff. Because he is literally obsessed with her. And it's kind of like the whole Gordon and Laura thing. Gordon will not let Laura go. He will not allow Ed to take him back to like the ship and go back into the future. He literally pulls a weapon on his former officers, his officers and stuff. Like he will not let Laura go the same way Derek won't let Wade go. And and when I watched this episode, that Sliders episode was the only thing I could think of. And I don't understand why people think this is romantic and beautiful. If this was to happen in real life, like say you get online stalked or something like that, you're not gonna think it's beautiful. You're not gonna think it's flattering and everything. You're gonna think it's crazy and you're gonna call the cops. And that's the reality of it. But that's the problem with TV. TV has a way of romanticizing things. Similar to all these like teen dramas, there's always that one teenager who's dating a teacher and everything. And some shows like Pretty Little Liars and Riverdale, they go out their way to make it seem like it's right when you know it's wrong. And that is why I have a problem with this episode. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.